I'm Max Pringle with these headlines. Former President Trump is making his first court appearance today in Miami to answer a 37-count indictment against him for allegedly mishandling highly sensitive documents at his Florida home and attempting to hide them from investigators. Feature Story News' Tony Waterman has more.
The former president is due in Miami federal court at 3 p.m. local time, and authorities are bracing for mass demonstrations, both from his supporters who view this indictment as politically motivated and from his critics who want him held responsible. Trump is facing 37 federal charges of mishandling classified documents and refusing to return them to the FBI and National Archives. Trump has denied all wrongdoing and plans to hold a rally in New Jersey after the arraignment. Tony Waterman, Texas.
The latest government numbers show consumer prices in the United States cooled last month. Prices rose just 0.1% from April to May and extended the past year's steady easing of inflation. Donna Warder has more.
Consumer prices are expected to have risen 4.2% in May from a year earlier. That's according to economists surveyed by the data firm FactSet. 4.2% is well below the 4.9% year-over-year increase in April, and measured from April to May, prices are expected to have increased only 0.1% compared with the previous month's increase of 0.4%. Yet, any slowdown in inflation is unlikely to convince the Federal Reserve that it's close to curbing high inflation. The Fed tends to focus on core prices, which exclude volatile food and energy costs, and the government's report will likely show much less improvement in core prices. Donna Warder, Washington.
Ukrainian officials say Russian missiles rained down in a central Ukrainian city overnight, killing at least 11 people and wounding more than 24 in a warehouse and an apartment building. The attack comes as Ukraine is in the early stages of a long-planned counteroffensive to drive out Russian invasion forces. Charles de Ledesma reports.
Governor Serhiy Lysak of the Dnipropetrovsk region said in a Telegram post the strike involved cruise missiles and hit a 5-story residential building, with the area engulfed in fire. Images from the scene relayed by Zelensky on his Telegram channel show firefighters battling the blaze as pockets of fire poke through multiple broken windows of a building. Charred and damaged vehicles litter the nearby ground. More terrorist missiles, he writes on the social app. Russian killers continue their war against residential buildings, ordinary cities and people. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Officials in India and Pakistan are planning to evacuate 80,000 people to safety along the southern coasts as thousands have sought shelter ahead of cyclone Biparjoy. It's forecast to slam ashore in the densely populated region on Thursday. The cyclone is likely the most powerful to hit western India and Pakistan since 2021 and follows devastating floods that ravaged Pakistan last year, leaving more than 1,700 people dead and causing $30 billion in damages. Biparjoy is packing maximum sustained winds of 111 miles per hour. It's projected to hit land near Jakhau port in the Kutch district of Gujarat. All ports, including 2 of India's largest, Mundra and Kandla, have been shut down as a precaution. British authorities say 3 people have been found dead in the streets of the English city of Nottingham, and 3 others were injured after being hit by a van in related incidents. Police have arrested a man on suspicion of murder, and counterterrorism officials have been brought into the investigation. Feature Story News' Julia Chapman has more.
Police believe the incidents are related. A huge police response was launched in the early hours of Tuesday. Much of Nottingham was closed off and the transport system was suspended. Police say they were called to the scene shortly after 4 a.m, where they found 2 people dead in the street. Another man was found dead in a different street, and officers were called to another area of the city where a van had attempted to run down 3 people. They are not thought to be seriously injured. A 31-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder. The attacks are not being investigated as a terrorist incident, but counter-terrorism police are involved in the investigation. From Feature Story News in London, I'm Julia Chapman.
And I'm Max Pringle. You're listening to Sojourner Truth on Pacifica Radio.